Well, I hope you're able to find your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow today. Happy St. Patrick's Day, and welcome back to Stock Talk with Eric Anthony. As you can hear, my ice machine just went off, so that's perfect timing. But all jokes aside, I hope your guys' portfolio was as green as the day. Me personally, I don't have any green on, so I'm going to use my little dudes back here. I don't know if they're in focus, but we got Rex, and we got the Green Power Ranger just for the, for the culture. So I have a very packed show to go over with you today. I want to go over some price action in the market. I got a nice little article to go over regarding a new product from Desktop Metal, and wanted to piggyback off of what we heard from the Dronedek CEO regarding FAA regulation. And I want to discuss if this market bubble has actually finally corrected. Okay, JP Morgan's Kolonovich says that the market bubble corrections are almost over. The rout in tech, biotechnology, and emerging market stocks may be nearly over, and it's time for investors to start adding to beaten down high beta positions, according to JP Morgan Chase & Co. strategist Marco Kolonovich. While the commodity super cycle will persist, the strategist said the correction in bubble sectors is now likely finished, and geopolitical risks will likely start abating in a few weeks' time, while a comprehensive resolution may take a few months. Kolonovich sees great opportunities in high beta, beaten down segments that now include innovation, tech, biotech, and emerging markets. While investors have become increasingly concerned about inflation and a potential recession, he argues that just won't happen, though he's not ruling out one in Europe or further slowdown in the United States. The Nasdaq 100 index closed in a bear market on Monday, joining a number of other global equity gauges, including China's CSI 300 and Germany's DAX. The tech-heavy benchmark has bounced back since the first of several anticipated Federal Reserve rate hikes, and it's now down roughly 15% from its November record. The biotechnology sector has taken an even worse beating than tech, with the Nasdaq Biotech Index plunging roughly 25% from its August peak. The market did, however, rally on Thursday, with the S&P 500 advancing 1.2% and the Nasdaq 100 rose by 1.2%. Okay, so that's kind of exciting to hear finally, right? Some good news regarding where we're at with... Thank you. Right? What are you gonna do? Well, like I said, it's always exciting to kind of hear some bullish news finally in the market. I think for many of us, especially for all you long-term investors in the biotech space. Yes, I'm looking at all my bingo folks out there. I know it's been a rough year. So to hear that we finally have some good news regarding innovation and tech specifically, and to start finally hearing that people are trying to hop back into these markets and realize that you really don't want to bet against innovation, it's a fantastic thing. For me personally, I don't know, I'm not knowledgeable, so I'm not going to pretend I know anything about Forex or commodities, but I'm not naive to the fact that a lot of money has been going to those sectors, including energy, which we know is just booming right now, but it's actually been coming down. So this article I think was telling, because in most of the market today, and we'll get into that right now, or over the past few days, we've noticed a drastic change in how a lot of our favorite stocks are moving. We had Papa Pal talk. There she is again. We had Papa Pal talk, and I can't remember the last time. I think he even put it in the last video that when he talks, just be prepared for red, because there's been many times where I'm like, oh, just stop talking. I've literally seen just my whole portfolio start way up here and just fall straight down within like 12 minutes of him speaking. And that's even before he gets to the questionnaire. And then like when we get to that part, it's just like, oh my God, it's all bad. But that was not the case yesterday. Yesterday was probably one of the more dovish outcomes I have seen, or one of the more dovish tones that Powell has given, specifically when they asked him about recession and how he doesn't even feel that's even in the space, and when discussing what rate that he would like to see inflation get back down to around the 2023 timeframe. So again, it's just finally great to start getting some dovish news from the Fed, and to start seeing these kind of articles that we just got today from Bloomberg. So piggybacking off that, let's get to the market and let's just see exactly how some of our favorite sectors did. Okay, and like always, we're gonna start with our big retail. Everything with big retail was up today. The winner here, from the ones that we like to follow, we would have to give that to Target, up about 2%. Everything else was marginally up, but still up nonetheless. Getting over to our EV plays, ABML down. RCAT was pretty stagnant. As you can see, in the after hours, is actually hit kind of hard. Alpp ALPP just battered today in comparison to everything else that I'm following in this sector. They were down just under 8%. Let's keep this in mind. With ALPP, there was actually a few big splashes out there. If you guys were monitoring some of the price action, there was a large print today for a price of $1.31. Amounting to just under 150,000. I think we're seeing a lot of institutional investors stacking up at the low prices. And like always, in the link below, I will put the Google Doc showing exactly who is invested in ALPP and what percentage we have of institutional investors. Again, the stock is not the business. Always remember that. So with ALPP being down just under 8%, and even the past couple days it's just been down, we know as ALPP longs that there's been nothing but good news. And so when I see these prices, you can guess what I did, whether I bought or not. You can guess that. But to anyone out there that is new to ALPP, if you need a little more information on it, check out my last videos, check out the video for their announcement with their partnership with Dronedek, and more importantly, check out the video regarding the FAA regulation changes that will most likely come that will just open the door to the commercial drone space in general. I don't know if you guys saw today, founder and CEO of Dronedek, Dan O'Toole, today lauded a federal aviation committee for recommending new regulations that would encourage drone-based package delivery in the United States. Our smart mailbox has the capacity to overhaul the global package delivery system and bring needed efficiency and environmental benefits, O'Toole said. I'm happy to see progress being made that will allow the US to catch up to other countries. He had earlier complained that countries like Ireland, Canada, Uganda, and Rwanda are ahead of the United States in this niche market. And if you want more information in regard to what rules and regulations he's talking about with regard to the committee and some of the changes he would like to see, check out my last video. It's titled "This Will Change Everything ALPP," and it's a deep dive, and we go into specifics on the highlights of the report and more importantly the highlights of what rule changes they would like to see come into fruition. I know that was a little tangent from the market. Let me know in the comments below if any of you guys have been buying the dip, especially after with all the great news we've been hearing regarding ALPP. Okay, getting back to the charts. Polestar was up 1%, Neo was up marginally, Rivian was up 1%, and Lucid was up just under 5%. Heading over to our smart chips, Qualcomm was up just under 2%, Nvidia was up 1%, and AMD was actually down today about 3%. Now let's jump into fintech. Affirm was up 10%, SoFi is up 4%, PayPal is up 4%, and Robinhood is up 4.7%. You know, I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't really tell you why some things are happening and why some things aren't. I would like to think that after Papa Powell spoke yesterday and kind of just dwindled any speculation regarding recession and just came forth with what we should anticipate with rate hikes, maybe this has a lot to do with why fintech has been moving in the direction it's moving. All right, moving forward, SoFi was up just under 4%, PayPal was up just under 4%, and Robinhood was up just under 5%. Dutch Bros up 11% today, and Palantir was up 4.5%. And now let's get into some of our 3D plays. Desktop Metal up 13.67% today. And Nano Dimension was also up 5.2%. Nano Dimension was actually presenting today at the PP conference. Nothing too crazy going on with these images here, but it's great to see them finally be able to be in person to showcase their products, because unfortunately, I think their product space is something that would thrive by being able to see it in action rather than just showing it virtually. I know the past couple years, due to the vid, there's been a lot of expositions that have been canceled, or a lot of conferences have just kind of gravitated toward the virtual space, which is great, especially for like companies like in the genomics area where we're just doing hard presentations, or with regard to like Apple products that they may not be showcasing, but we all know they're going to deliver it to the store so you can see it in person. But with regard to Nano Dimension, I think it's just very exciting to see them finally back out there showing the product in person, and I can't wait to see how these presentations translate to new customers in the future. Nano Dimension will be presenting at the end of the month, and when we get those numbers, I will be reporting on it. Getting to Mount Fang. Mount Fang was actually all up today as well, and Nflx was up actually 4%, and in intraday trading, it was actually up a little bit more than that. I don't know if you guys heard, but Nflx is actually testing out rate increases in other countries right now to their members who are actually sharing their password. So, any of you guys out there share your password? You can be honest. I know I have once or twice, or may have used someone else's password once or twice, in my life. Not today, but definitely there was a time where, probably back in my dorm days, definitely shared the password. Even Apple made just about $6.5 billion extra this year just by cutting the cord. You know, they didn't include the charger or the earbuds in the phone boxes. And look what that's done. And the funny thing about that is that the tech giant said the move, which was announced 2 years ago, was intended to cut waste and drew praise from environmentalists when it claimed it would reduce annual carbon emissions by 2 million tons, the equivalent of taking 500,000 cars off the road. Hey, environmentally friendly means more money in their pockets. Kind of getting back to what I was saying with big retail, you know, we saw that Amazon's increasing their prices with Prime. We see that Apple is doing what they're doing to help their margins. We now hear that Netflix will be charging people who will share passwords. We see that Chipotle has increased their prices. The main thing here is that as time's going on, a lot of our favorite value stocks only seem to be gaining more intrinsic value because they are either increasing prices on the low or they're doing little things to help increase those gross margins. And even though they may be subtle, and they may be announced years in advance, as a long-term investor, these are the things that you want to pay attention to, because if you can wait and be patient, it definitely will pay off. Okay, so that kind of wraps up some price action today in the market. In regard to crypto, really not too much going on there today, but it has been on an uptrend the past few days. So now, just kind of want to wrap it up with an interesting article that I had seen regarding Desktop Metal, specifically on a new printer. So let's get into that article. Upon its integration of X1 and Envision TEC into portfolio, or Envision Tech, Desktop Metal is continuing to showcase newly branded 3D printers. The latest is the Nflx, described by the company as the most affordable sand 3D printer to ever be offered by X1. The machine is meant to bring Desktop Metal's single pass jetting technology to metal foundries. Sand 3D printing has proven to be exciting technology for foundries to quickly produce sand molds, cores, and inserts for the casting of large metal components. Whereas it might typically take weeks or months to get a traditionally made mold for sand casting, 3D printing makes it possible to produce sand cores and molds in a matter of hours or days. With 3D printing, complexity is free, meaning that producing elaborate geometries is just as simple for the machine as a less complicated part. Moreover, much of the labor and scrap associated with creating sand cores is eliminated. Up until now, X1 sand 3D printing technology has been limited due to its containment in enclosed binder jetting machines. The new system relies on an industrial robotic arm to make for a more flexible 3D printing platform with a build volume similar to X1's X-Max machine. And here are some of the specs. It also features a new print head and recoder design to introduce SPJ to the world of sand printing. Other details about the S-Max Flex include environmental controls and sand drying capabilities, new print head mount design for improved calibration and alignment, Desktop Metal Fabricate MFG software to aid in build box nesting, and advanced sling, remote customer support, and a customizable safety system. The S-Max Flex keeps foundries competitive by enabling same-day castings of the complex cores, becoming increasingly common as manufacturers consolidate and lightweight metal parts for electric cars and a new future. The new machine will be live at Cast Expo 2022 on April 23rd through April 26th in Columbus, Ohio. It's interesting to see Desktop Metal shuffle around its technology to place machines where they fit best. Desktop Health, for instance, now includes vertical specific 3D printers and materials from Envision Tech, which has become the industrial division dubbed E-Tech. The RAM platform is now part of X1 for sand casting and Forest for wood 3D printing. If the company can organize itself internally quickly enough, perhaps it will be on the road to profitability, at which point it really could be a giant to be reckoned with. We may even see a Desktop Metal composite line, the Envision Tech's SLCOM1 3D printer, finally rolled out commercially. This would likely occur alongside the Fiber Desktop Composite 3D printer, and I don't believe that has officially seen commercial release. And for all you 3D metal fans out there, the CEO of Desktop Metal will actually be on Money Mitch. I will put the link below. He's going to do an interview there with him. Go ahead and check that out via Benzinga. Should be interesting. Definitely excited to hear what he has to say. He's going to go into more detail regarding this new sand printer, and maybe we'll hear a little insight on the P50. If not, like I told you in the last video, we have the webinar coming up for the P50 on 3/22. So look out for that as well. I'm wondering if we're starting to see the price action that we were seeing not only in the market, but specifically in some of our innovation plays, because we are starting to gravitate towards becoming a risk on market. And if that's the case, that will be very exciting, especially for all of us who've been dollar cost averaging. Okay, well, that basically sums up today's video. I hope you guys were able to get some solid information with how some of the money's moving back to big tech, how hopefully we're back to becoming a risk on market. And personally, I think once these regulations are streamlined, I think we're going to be living in a whole different world when it comes to drones in the commercial space. So I'm very excited about that. And more importantly, hopefully you guys learned a little bit about the new sand printer from Desktop Metal. I know it's Thursday today. I'm going to be out of town the next couple days. Going to go look at some, like I told you before, we're going to go look at investment properties. Fingers crossed that we find something, but I will be back on Sunday night. I'll be doing some DD then, and you guys can expect a new video from me on Monday. But like always, thank you so much for checking in with Stock Talk with Eric Anthony, and I'll see you on Monday.